Hi everyone, Chef Chaya-Ryvka from thelivingvision.com, back with you again on behalf of Living Tree Community Foods. Today we're going to make a really lovely barbecue pate, and this can be used as a spread in a collard wrap or on your favorite sandwich. It can also be used as a topping to put on top of your salad, a filling for your bread. It can be used for so many different recipes and ways, and it's a wonderful barbecue flavor fresh pate. So we'll get started here. And our base for this pate are soaked sunflower seeds. So what you'll do is take about a half a cup of sunflower seeds and soak them in purified water overnight. By the time morning time comes around, the water should be foggy, and what you'll do is put those sunflower seeds into a larger bowl, fill that up with water, and you'll notice the husks from the sunflower seeds will rise up to the top. So you can reach in there and shake the sunflower seeds around, rub them between your hands to release that husk, and when it rises to the top, then just gently pour off those husks, and do that a few times. Those husks will impart a bitter flavor if you don't rinse them off. So the more you can rinse off the husks, the nicer the pate will taste. And the soaked sunflower seeds actually have a really nice, light and slightly sweet flavor. So if you get all those husks off, it's a great base for your pates. So what we have here is 1 cup of soaked and rinsed sunflower seeds, and half a cup will give you about a cup. So if you start with a half a cup of dried sunflower seeds, then you will end up with about a cup in the morning. Now I'm adding 12 sun-dried tomato halves, and these are from Living Tree Community Foods. Actually, most of our products here today you can find at livingtreecommunityfoods.com. These are in a sea salt brine, so you don't need to add any salt whatsoever to this recipe. These will add the perfect amount of salt. So if you have 12 halves, you want to soak them in a half a cup of water, and you can chop them a bit beforehand so that they break down more easily in your food processor. Let them soak for at least 2 hours. If you don't want to think about it, you can just let them soak next to your sunflower seeds overnight, and they'll be ready in the morning. So also, if you're in a rush and you didn't have them soaked but you want to make this, you can always do a hot soak on them. And these sun-dried tomatoes are some of the most flavorful sun-dried tomatoes, really wonderful texture I've ever come across. If you happen to make your own tomatoes at home in your dehydrator, then you'll want to add a little salt to this recipe. So just make the recipe first and start with a half a teaspoon of salt. And then taste it and see what you like. But if you're using these sun-dried tomatoes from Living Tree, or most sun-dried tomatoes out there have sea salt in them already, so you wouldn't need to add salt, or you would at least want to taste it. Okay, so now for some fresh vegetables, I'm adding 1 medium-sized carrot chopped and 2 celery stalks chopped. I'm also going to be adding 2½ medjool dates. And these are large, soft, juicy, sweet medjool dates from Living Tree Community Foods as well. And if you happen to use a different type of date, then you'll want to again taste your recipe, or just add a little bit more if they're smaller. And if they're super, super large, maybe start with less, but it adds a really nice sweetness, like a honey barbecue, you could call it. Then I have 3 tablespoons of some fresh squeezed lemon juice. And I'm going to be using this black sesame oil from Living Tree Community Foods. As I've mentioned before in previous videos, it's a great source of calcium and an overall wonderful oil and lubricant for your body. And I'll be adding 6 tablespoons. Okay, now I'm gonna add our spice mix. And what I have here is a ½ teaspoon of freshly ground chipotle pepper. I also have a ½ teaspoon of Italian seasoning, ½ teaspoon of cumin powder. I have a full teaspoon of onion powder and a ½ teaspoon of garlic powder. Now I'm going to pulse all of these ingredients to get them a little more broken down and mixed together, and then we'll be adding a couple more ingredients. Okay, that's great. It's all still pretty chunky, and I want this pate to be a bit chunky. You can make it completely smooth, and if you do it that way, that's really nice for a spread. In that case, you would just put all of the ingredients together. Or a dip, it's really nice as a dip with some crudité. But for this one, I want it a little chunky, and I'll be making some cabbage boats, or you can make collard wraps with it that way. And so now I'm going to be adding a ¼ cup of tahini, which is the ground sesame butter. Oops. That's a little bit much. Okay. And then I'm going to be adding 6 tablespoons of cashew butter. And I like the balance of those flavors because the tahini is a little on the bitter side and the cashew butter is on the sweet side, so they come together and form a really wonderful balanced flavor. Both are truly divine spreads on their own. I use them on a regular basis. Okay, so here's our cashew butter. As I said, that's 6 tablespoons. And now we'll just pulse these in to get everything incorporated. And that should be plenty. Let me just give this a little taste. Scrape down the sides. It's delicious. I'm going to pulse it down a little bit more because I want to break up those sun-dried tomatoes. And I made a little mistake, I'll be honest with you. Normally I would have held off on the carrots and the celery and gotten everything else incorporated first and then added the carrots and the celery and let those be a little more chunky. But this is great. Any way you do it, it's delicious. Okay. And that looks perfect. So now I'm going to bring over, I have a couple Napa cabbage leaves, and as you can see I put some bell peppers in there. And you can add tomatoes and sprouts and whatever you'd like to have in there, and then just scoop on a few scoops of your pate. And sometimes when I make this at home, I'll also make a cashew drizzle or like a cheese type of drizzle that will go on top of it. And it really ends up tasting somewhat like a barbecued burrito, if you can imagine what that might taste like. And I also have an avocado here. Avocado is really nice with it. So I'm just gonna make a few slices of that. And put some of that avocado on there. Some sprouts, as I said, would be a beautiful addition on top of here. Tomatoes and maybe a drizzle of some cashew cheese. And cashew cheese you can make just by blending a cup of cashews with enough water to let it blend and a pinch of salt, maybe a little lemon juice, and then just drizzle that right over the top. And you have a really tasty, wonderful barbecue boat for lunch. Again, you can use this or dinner. You can use this for such a variety of different, you can use this in a variety of different ways, and it's really delicious. So I hope you try it out. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chef Chaya-Ryvka from thelivingvision.com. This is Living Tree Community Foods, and I hope you enjoy your food making. See you soon.